What is up, gamers? It is Will777JP, and we are back with another video. Today we're doing my collection part 17. My collection is part 17 along with all the other 16 other parts. It's a series of videos I started 17 weeks ago, and basically it goes over each row of my collection. For example, this is one row. We are now on row 17, and during that row, I pick my top 3 games of that row. And I'll pick them for numerous reasons, such as, gameplay was awesome, art style's awesome, the music is awesome, level design, combat. Like, I take all the things that I love about it, and I put it together, and I figure out, just out of that row specifically, which ones are my top 3. Now, before, I used to pick just 3 games, never in order, but Mr. Henry Heck, shout out to Mr. Henry Heck, go subscribe to his YouTube channel, said, hey bro, you need to number these. We need to know which one's your 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. So I started doing that. So today, we're doing number 17, and I really would like to know from you guys which ones are your top 3 from that row. I will be so interested to know. Are yours the same as mine? Are yours different? Do we have one that's similar? 2? Let me know. I will be so interested to find out. So let's go ahead and get started. But before we do, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It really does help the channel out a lot. Also, hit that notification bell. That way you stay up to date whenever I drop videos. And for those of you guys that are already subscribed, thank you, man. It means the world to me that you guys have been supporting me for so long. So thank you. Also, if you want to take it a step above and support the channel a little bit more, there is a thank you button right next to the subscribe button. It's in the shape of a heart. And every single dollar we get from that, we're going to reinvest it right back into the channel. Hopefully get you guys better quality videos, better recording equipment, better editing software, more games, a whole 9 yards. So thank you. But yeah, let's go ahead and set the camera up to row 17. And this row, we got some bangers, y'all. We have some bangers. Here, let me scoot my chair over a little bit. Gotta duck down a little bit. But yeah, man, this row is actually a good row. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys exactly the rows that are, or the games that are in this row. And then I'm going to go ahead and let you know which ones are in my top 3, starting with the 3rd. So the very first game we have in this row is Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which I got from Limited Run Games. I already own it digitally, so I haven't opened it up yet. Then we have Star Wars Outlaw, which I purchased after I had to get the game pre-ordered, but I canceled it because of all the issues the game was having, and then I bought it again later on when it got patched. Then we have Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, which I actually, let me see if I have it around here. So yeah, I do. I actually bought the deluxe edition, which is pretty cool. It came with some Legos in here as well, with an X-Wing fighter pose, to be specific, and we also got Luke Skywalker. So pretty cool. Haven't opened them yet. May never open it. I don't know yet. Me and my son went through a Lego phase, but by the time we kind of got over it, I had purchased this game that came with these goodies. So who knows? If my son get into it one more time, then I may build this. Also, I am gonna be changing gaming rooms in the house, so now that I have more space over there, maybe I might put it all together. The next one is Steel Rising. Let me back this up a little tad bit there. Steel Rising. Then we have Stellar Blade. Then we have Stray. I played this game on PC, or I'm sorry, not PC, PS Plus, and then I got a physical copy of it. Subnautica Below Zero. It's crazy because I own this game on the Switch as well. But I saw it on sale and I bought it on the PlayStation because the Switch 1 just never felt it was, as good as it could have been. Next one is System Shock. Then we have Tales of Iron, which pisses me off because the second Tales of Iron came out and it didn't have a physical. Tales of Arise, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga Collection, Terminator Resistance. I'm so thankful I got this game when I did, because I paid, I think it was 15 or 20 bucks for this game. This game is still selling like Best Buy and stuff like that for like 50 bucks, bro. It's crazy. Rainbow Six Extraction. This is another game that I purchased for 10 bucks. I actually played it on PS Plus, but I don't have anybody who wants to play, so I never played it. Or I haven't played it as much as I would like to. Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 Remastered. Another one that I own digitally. Then we have the Callisto Protocol. I bought this day one, of course. Then we have the Invincible. Then we also have the Crew Motorfest. We also have the Night Witch. The Last of Us Part 1. And then last one is The Last Stand Aftermath. So this is a very, very competitive row, y'all. Very, very competitive. Let me see what game I haven't played here yet. System shut. Yeah, I played every single one of these games. Wow, so this is going to be actually a tough one, because I have played every single one of these games. Now, I have not beaten all of these games, but I have played every single one of them. But either way, today we're going to be picking my top 3 favorite games in this row. So, let's get going. So, for my number 3, and this one barely made the cut, but something that I like to point out, and I'll explain more why with my number 3, is not only it's because I enjoy these games, but also the time period of my life and the good feelings that those games brought to me. So for number 3, it is going to be Stray. Now I see that some people are already going to be groaning about this one, but Stray is a game that came out, I believe it was in 2022. And at the time, the PS5 console was still fairly new, just a couple years old. When this game got announced during one of PlayStation showcases, it caught a lot of people's attention. We have played as animals before, but this was something different. To me, what stood out most about this game is the cyberpunkish kind of world that this game is based out of. Not only was this game fairly new, or to the new console generation, it also came out during a time that I was on vacation. So I remember it being beautiful outside, gorgeous summer. I think it was either June or July. And I played it on PS Plus. And I remember waking up early that day, went to play the game, and it still hadn't released. So it was like 8 in the morning. I told my son, dude, let's go swimming. We went swimming. We had a wonderful time. I came back home around noon, and the game finally became available on PS Plus. I sat there the whole day playing Stray. I was a little confused at first with the gameplay mechanics and all that, trying to figure out where is this game leading, but the movement in this game is phenomenal. I know some people are going to say I'm crazy for saying this, but this gameplay actually reminds me, or the movement, the traversing, reminds me a lot of like Death Stranding. Now, let me explain why. Because in Death Stranding, going from point A to point B, it's like a strategy game, right? You really got to plan your route, you got to plan your resources, etc., etc., etc. This game, you don't have to do that to the extent that Death Stranding does, but you do have to figure out which route to go, health, enemies, locked pathways, and you're a cat, so you're pretty defenseless, so you have to use your environment as a weapon. You have to use the environment as one of your strong points. The music was awesome in this game. The gameplay is awesome with this game. The character itself is very awesome as well. Even though it's a cat, you can kind of relate a little bit. When I was a kid, I watched a movie called Bingo, and it was about a dog whose family, the dad, was a kicker for the NFL, and he ended up getting traded to the Green Bay Packers. And they left the house, and the dog got lost somehow, and the dog ended up finding its way over to the family's new home by sniffing out clues and things of that nature. This game reminded me a lot about that, and I think because of those childhood memories with that movie, how emotional it was for me. It was one of the first movies that I watched as a kid where I actually cried with how sad I was. That game reminded me a lot about this. It's very futuristic, it's very cyberpunkish, and I really, really love about that. But then you add the music, you add the designs, you add the level designs, the gameplay, it becomes a very fun game. And if you have not played Stray, I recommend it 100%. So go check it out. But that is my number 3. My number 2 was also a very, very hard pick. And by the way, I'm going to give you guys some honorable mentions at the end of this. But my number 2 pick is Tales of Iron. Tales of Iron was such a special game to me, man. Such a special game. So let me tell you about the story real quick. So Tales of Iron, you play as a rat, where the rat is the prince to a kingdom, and in other kingdoms there's different creatures that are kings and queens of those kingdoms. Well, your kingdom gets attacked by a frog. I think your dad dies, and then you become the king. And just off that premise alone, that game caught my attention because it has this medieval kind of vibe, which is one of my favorite types of genres in video games. Is when they do sci-fi, medieval stuff. Like, I just love it. Also, the fact that you're a prince, you become the king. Now this kingdom is your responsibility. It just, the story already captured me. There isn't a ton of story beats in here, but the story is pretty cool. Secondly, a lot of people consider this to be a Souls-like game, right? And I've been saying from the beginning that this is, to me, how difficulty is done in this game. It wasn't the easiest. Some bosses took me a few tries, but a few tries is all it took me. Unlike Wukong or another Souls game, Elden Ring, where it's taking me hours and hours and hours of the same boss to finally beat them. So the game was very challenging, and I actually liked that about the game. But it wasn't too challenging where it turned me off and I wanted to quit. The combat was really, really good, man. Really, really good. They gave you have the option to wear different types of weapons that are resistant against poison, weapons that are resistant against melee weapons that are resistant to, all sorts of different things. And you combine that armor, such as, your body armor, to your helmet, to the abilities that your weapon can do, your sword can do, your hammer can do, and you can really create a very specific OP character, whether they're melee heavy, they're an archer, they focus on poison, whatever the case may be. Super cool game. The art style, beautiful, gorgeous. It's a side scroller, 2D, 3D kind of mixture. It's just a very cool looking game, very fun game. Story's cool, the music was cool. I was emotionally invested in the character, and I absolutely loved it for those reasons. Also, that the fact that the game was difficult, it's gorgeous. This is another game that I purchased not just for my PlayStation, but I also have it purchased for the Nintendo Switch so my son can play it. There is a second one of this game. That one I haven't beat. I found that they increased the difficulty to the combat, which has turned me off a bit about it. I'm eventually going to go back to it, but to me, the second one doesn't have the same magic that this first one had, for sure. Last but not least, my number one. Well, I shouldn't say last because I'm going to give you guys some honorable mentions. My number one is Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade, man. Phenomenal, phenomenal game. This is another one that is a little challenging. It's a little difficult. Some of these boss fights took me 4, 5, 6 tries, but I still got over it. What I really liked about Stellar Blade is the world. I love the world. Another one that has like a cyberpunkish kind of vibe, very futuristic. The combat in this game is my favorite thing. The combat is just chef's kiss, man. It has this open world kind of hub element to it. You can really go at your pace. You can really upgrade your character before you move on. The story, man, I love the story about the game. It's not the best story. There definitely is some things that they could have improved, but the story definitely kept me engaged, and it got to a point where I was wondering what's going to happen next. Another thing that this game does very well is they add different genres to this game, where yes, it's a melee combat type of game, but you also have shooting in this game as well. There's fishing in this game as well. Super, super cool, super, super interesting. The art style of the game, phenomenal. The character designs, phenomenal, beautiful. But as you can tell, I didn't speak about the character looks first. It's actually the last thing that I'm speaking about. Because even though the characters look great, especially Eve, fucking baddie, the thing that attracted me to the game the most was that combat. And when I played the demo, it cemented that for me. It really, really did. Now, I was a little bit iffy about it when I played the demo because of the challenge of the boss fight that you do in that demo. But I got over it and I learned and I did it. The music is something that's also very, very good about this game. Not a lot of people are talking about that. But Stellar Blade is a must play. There is 2 difficulty options on here. You have like a easy mode and then a normal mode, which is of course a little bit tougher. But check it out, man. Multiple endings, so there's gameplay or replay value in this game is really, really high. Like, in order to get all the endings, you probably have to put in over 120, 150 hours, something like that. So, no surprise that this game is doing very, very well on PC. It's just a phenomenal game. Now, let me give you guys some honorable mentions because this was a tough one. Another honorable mention that people are going to be asking, why didn't I put this in my top 3? Well, it's The Last of Us Part 1. Obviously, great game, right? Gameplay mechanics, phenomenal. Visuals, phenomenal. The whole 9 yards, phenomenal. But the only reason I didn't pick this one in my top 3 was because the other games that I played that I mentioned were brand new games, right? Games that I've already that are new to me and that are doing something different, that are doing something new. The Last of Us Part 1 has been around since the PS3 times. You know what I mean? And also, this game is incomplete because we don't have the factions out of it. So I did not want to put this in my top 3 for those reasons. But definitely a must play if you haven't already, which I think the people that haven't played it are the small, super small minority. Another honorable mention is the Callisto Protocol. Now, this game got a lot of hate when it came out. A lot of hate. And mainly the hate was because of the dodging mechanics that were in this game. You had to use the left joystick, right? Left to dodge to the left, right to dodge to the right, back to dodge backwards. And I think that it threw people off. And what I say to people is, dude, Dying Light, right? With Dying Light, you have to freaking... you have to use the R1 button to jump. When I first played Dying Light, it pissed me the hell off. I wanted to push X. But after I played the game for a couple hours, I realized that the most organic way of jumping in this game was using the R1. Same thing goes with the Callisto Protocol. After a while, you realize that the most organic way to dodge is with the right stick. Now, that is something new. It is something different. But isn't that what people want all the time? Something new, something different. The Callisto Protocol, I played first. I have never, ever, ever played Dead Space before. Never. So I played the Callisto Protocol and then I played Dead Space. And guess what? After I played Dead Space a few months later, I didn't love the Callisto Protocol any less. I enjoyed it. I think the main actor, I forget his name is, what's his freaking name? Oh man, he's a famous actor. He's been in a lot of movies, Star Trek, stuff like that. But I think he did a phenomenal job. The story is phenomenal, right? Just that whole world and how futuristic it is, and going to a different planet, and you know the horror aspects of it, right? Now I've said this before that I like horror games not because they're horror games, but because horror games generally have a good story. This is no exception. And the fact that the dude who made the first Dead Space made Callisto Protocol, you can definitely see those similarities in there, right? The Callisto Protocol does have a DLC. I enjoyed that as well. And shout out to Nelson Gaming Culture because he also played this game and he also liked it as well. But yeah, it's a cool game, man. Give it a shot. Go in there with an open mind and give it a shot. I think you're gonna like it. Another honorable mention that I want to give you guys here is the Night Witch. So the Night Witch is a game that I purchased physically on sale first. I got this game, I think it was like 10 or 15 bucks. It caught my attention because of the gameplay, right? In the game, you play as this witch who you traverse by floating. So you're floating all over the place, and it's a bullet hell game. That's what it is, right? So the gameplay caught my attention, and I had it for a while, and then it became available on PS Plus. So I was like, you know what? Let me check it out on PS Plus. Since it's there, it's free. I'll download it, and I did. And it went from just checking the game out to actually sticking with it and finishing the whole damn game. You play as the main character. I forget her name, but she is in a group of witches who have this power, and as the course of the game goes, well, your job is to bring some of these witches back because they have kind of lost their way. And the way that they maintain their power is by popularity. So the more powerful one of the witches is, the more powerful she is. But the main thing of this game is the gameplay, bro. It's a bullet hell game, which is not my favorite type of genre. But because of the story, because of the art style, because of the music, all these things combined kept me going. It's the same thing with Metroidvania games, right? I don't really like Metroidvania games, but I love Laika Age Through Blood. And some games are part of genres that you don't like, but there's something unique and special about these games that makes you fall in love with it. Doesn't mean I'm going to be enjoying all the Metroidvania games out there that I can get my hands on. Does not mean that I'm going to get my hands on bullet hell games or anything, right? Or like Tales of Iron or Souls-likes. It just means that that type of game blew away my expectations for it in a genre that I don't really like, and I appreciate that. I really, really do. And that's why I put those specific games in my top 3, and I gave those other games as part of my honorable mentions. But there y'all have it, man. What do you guys think? Did I do some good picks for my top 3? Did I mention some good honorable mentions? Let me know in the comment section down below. And now that you see this whole row 17, what would be your top 3? Would it be different than mine? Would you have one of mine, two of mine? Would your list be completely different? Let me freaking know, man. I'm gonna be super interested to see what you guys say. Remember, this is this channel, I created it because I wanted to talk gaming with you guys, all right? So let me know what you guys think. Next week, we're gonna be doing row 18, which is the row right underneath that one. And that one is gonna have some bangers in there as well. It's gonna have some games that I really, really love, and games that I'm so thankful that I own, and I'm going to keep playing forever. So there y'all have it, man. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, going over my top 3 of row 17. Don't forget to hit the like, the subscribe, notification bell. We'll catch you in the next one. Keep it gaming.